Serious, what are some unethical life hacks? NSFW. Browse your local obituaries. Find an old man who's passed away. But make sure there is something along the lines of George leaves behind his loving wife, Midge, of 62 years. With the power of the internet, call up Midge on the phone and ask her about the used car ad she posted. Midge will tell you that she doesn't have a used car for sale. Reassure her that you saw the ad for the car. Midge just might think, maybe I can sell George's old car. It sure will help pay for all these new expenses. You see, George's old car is a nice luxury car, driven with the care and frequency that only an 87-year-old can give. Now you can go buy a practically new luxury car on the cheap. If you are married and interviewing for a position that requires travel, lose that ring and watch out for the ring tan line. If you aren't married and interviewing for a stable job, put on a wedding ring. If you have any close friends with kids, take some pics with them. If anyone questions you about the wife, just start looking like you are going to cry. No one will ask again. Having a family makes you a little less vulnerable to downsizing and gives you some great excuses for missing work. Hungover? Kid sick? Have to go to the hospital because a hooker jammed a clit stim up your ass? Kid sick? Have to go to the hospital because a hooker jammed a clit stim up your ass? Use self-checkout lanes to buy expensive Honey Crisp apples, but tell the computer they are only bulk cheap apples. Shit. Just go find the rolled oats in the bulk aisle. Memorize its clue code. Then anything that requires being weighed is suddenly rolled oats at checkout. You're thinking too small. Except if it's same for same, you have deniability if caught. For produce, I wouldn't do bulk oats if you're worried about getting caught. Anything in the bulk foods aisle I'll ring up as bulk oats. Just try not to look like the kind of person who'd be up to something, and the worst they'll do is ask you to pay full price for whatever it is. I've gotten caught doing this by one of the more attentive self-checkout cashiers while wearing business casual clothing, and all you have to do is act surprised and offer to fix the mistake and they'll be all, "Oh, it's okay, sir." This kind of thing happens all of the time. Don't worry about it. Just pay more attention next time. Double quote. 10/10 would dress nicely to get cashews for $1 LB again. On Craigslist or Armslist, or any other classified site, find an item you want. Lowball the person from several different emails. Then send them a reasonable, but still below asking value, offer at them from your real email. After being lowballed all day, they'll jump at your real offer. Or you could get luck and they would accept one of the lowball offers. Win-win. Whenever you go to buy a car, the sales guy will always give you that sheet that itemizes the charge and everything on it with the OTD price. That's the sheet that you sign when you agree on the price. What you do is take that sheet, tell them you'll need to think about this, do whatever you can, but take that sheet with you. Then scan that sheet into your computer. OCR that shit. Change the numbers around to something you want that is reasonable. Make sure your math is right. Print it out. Bring it to another dealership and negotiate from that fake invoice. If you are meeting someone through Craigslist, ask them for their address first. Then go to Google Maps and pick a city the same direction, but twice the distance from their address. Tell the person from Craigslist you will meet them halfway. But in actuality they are coming to you because you live where halfway would be. Nobody is going to question your presence at a hotel's continental breakfast as long as you look okay. Confidence is everything. Or just look tired as hell and annoyed you gotta be up before 10 AM. Basically, go to the hotel before you go to school. You can make serious cash doing other people's homework for them. Made good money doing this in college off of one guy too lazy to do anything. He'd call me for answers to questions at any hour and I'd pick up, find the answer, call back. $10 per call. $20 if it was after midnight. He always was good for it. The best part is he asked basic shit that I could Google in 10 seconds. Sometimes it was more in depth, but it never took much effort. I love rich dumb kids. I think rich dumb kids love being themselves even more. I would. So I guess this subject ties into a life lesson my grandma taught my mom. Growing up, there has always been this big ass artistic rendition of a map of South America hanging up on our wall. I guess the story of it was that it was originally at some gallery and my grandma just walks up to the goddamn wall, picks it off, and walks out calmly without hesitation. She told my mom that you could do anything as long as it looks like you know what you're doing and nobody will question it. Thankfully, I don't see this being nearly as effective in today's world. Edit. I should make it clear my last comment was in regard to the specific act of grabbing a painting in a gallery. Not so much the larger premise because that's still obviously effective. I'm surprised nobody said drugs. Honestly. Want to sleep less? Be more focused? Whatever. There's a drug for it. Edit. I've gotten 50+ messages saying they aren't unethical. While I think some drug usage should not be illegal. For example, using performance enhancing drugs in an athletic situation is unethical. Poke holes in a condom to get married. Buildings' structures aren't as impenetrable as you might think. If a building has a composite shingle roof, you can typically just remove the shingles and cut through the backing underneath, usually plywood. In an unrelated note, alarm systems rarely monitor roofs. Also, if you're in a room with walls made of drywall, you're never really trapped. You can cut through the drywall and go through the wall itself. You know, if needed. When you buy a laptop or desktop, buy a warranty that includes accidental damage. Near the end of the warranty term, run Linpack or Furmark and block the exhaust vent. Leave it like that for a few hours and you'll get irreparable hardware damage. File a warranty claim and get a new laptop. The best part is there's no evidence of hardware tampering because you never even opened the case. Asking for a cup to get water and instead filling it with a fountain drink. I see people do this all the time when I go to Chipotle. After minutes of scientific research, I've determined that this works because the people who work at fast food restaurants just don't give a shit. When I worked at Chipotle, managers would say, "You cannot give your friends free soda but you can give them a cup for water." Wink wink. My regional manager actually called the cops on 2 kids who did that for theft. She was a bitch. Put an ad in Craigslist for road maintenance workers for hire. Promising an excellent but believable hourly wage for the area. Request that the recruits wait near a bank. Right at the time you intend to rob the bank. Instruct the recruits to wear yellow vests, safety goggles, and a respirator mask. And preferably a blue shirt. Show up in the same attire and execute your robbery and get away with the help of your friendly job-seeking decoys. BTW. It's been done. http www.knet.com news bank robber hires decoys on Craigslist fools cops. And he escaped in an inner tube floating down the river. So badass. In like a funny stupid kinda way. Although he should have passed the cash off to a friend and pretended to be one of the dupes. Always have a picture of babies, young children on your desk wallet and mention your youngsters in passing when engaging in casual work conversation. By doing this, you'll get all the advantages of an employee who has children, it not immediately being assumed that you're working holidays. Being able to leave early once in a while to pick up the kids from X. An easy conversation point when schmoozing with clients. And various other social benefits, without actually having them. This trick can also be applied to carrying a pack of cigarettes on you because smokers are allowed at least 3-4 smoke breaks a day while non-smokers are afforded no such equivalent. There are 2 classes of lies that you can get away with. 1. The lie that's so huge, so massively impossible, that no one would ever understand why the FCK you would lie about something so fundamental. And so it's accepted as truth. I call this the government lie. 2. The lie that's so small that you can utterly convince yourself that it could be true. And so no matter how many times you tell it, it doesn't bother you. And no one would ever understand why the FCK you would like about something so innocuous. I call this the 1/16th Cherokee lie. Edit. A lot of people are asking me why I call the second one the 1/16th Cherokee lie. Given that some of you are actually some small part Cherokee. The answer is no. You're not. You are lying about that. Here is what I have done at places I have worked at. Say that your workplace has a TV or electronic device you would like to have. If you have the opportunity, you take it apart and disable it so that it won't turn on. Management will replace it and throw the old one in the trash where you can retrieve it and reconnect it so that it works. When I worked retail, nothing defective went in the trash until the managers were sure it was defective. TV screens were either slashed or broken and all electronics were crushed. It sucked knowing I'd never be able to dumpster dive any of it, but taking a break from customers to go to the back and take out your frustrations on broken merchandise with a sledge was wonderful. If you are still in high school, middle school, buy candy and snacks at your local dollar value store and then take them to school and sell them for 2 to 3 times what you paid for them. Most of these kids get their money from their parents daily and have no idea the value of what they are buying. Look for sale candies that are between 10 and 33 cents and name brand. Selling store brand Pop-Tarts as name brand Pop-Tarts can also work surprisingly well. I used to make about 10-15 bucks a day doing this back when I was in high school, and the teachers rarely care unless you're disrupting class by selling them. Alternatively, wait for your school to do one of those chip sale for X reason things where kids sign up to sell X amount of chips. Then sign up for that. Sell your first batch. Then proceed to refill said batch with the snack pack chip bags you can get at any Walmart or grocery store. This can range anywhere from a 100% to 200% profit depending on if your school marks up the price of each bag to secure their cut. It's only unethical if you consider supply and demand economics unethical. Buy 100 bucks of beer at Walmart or wherever. Hand friend receipt after you buy. Friend returns and fills shopping cart with exact same amount and type of beer. Friend heads straight for door and hands receipt to door greeter who is old and doesn't notice. Double your beer on beer run. Buying and returning things. It's amazing how lenient the return policies at various stores can be. In college, I bought a 55 inches LED TV from Sam's Club and kept it in my apartment for 3 months and then returned it at the end of the semester for full money back and no questions asked. Plagiarize research papers but run the text through online translators and end back on English. Example: English to Spanish, Spanish to German, German to Japanese, Japanese to English. Then just go through it and fix the language to read more clearly. The loss in translation from language to language for different phrases and words alters the text a whole bunch until the final product is unrecognizable. Late to the show. But if you're ever in need, go into any hotel and tell the front desk that you stayed or visited there recently and left your sunglasses. Describe any generic style and you're sure to get a free pair of shades. Works with black umbrellas too. Need new tires? Rent a car with the same lug nut configuration and replace your tires with the rental car's tires. Only date single moms. They are so preoccupied with their kids that they aren't too worried about what you do on your free time, and like single unattached women, and mostly only call you for sex. You are then free to date other single moms. To cancel a cell phone provider without any fees. Look up their service map. Find a town outside of coverage. And tell them you want to cancel because you are moving to that town and want to cancel because they have no service there. If you have an older apartment building where cable was installed after the building was built, then there is likely cabling conduit that runs vertically on the outside of the building, usually by the balcony. Pop it open and put in a splicer. Thank your neighbors for free cable TV. Warning: this falls under the Net No Electronic Theft Act. It is a federal felony. Can't write a good job application or CV? Post a job advertisement on those free websites for a position in the area you are interested in entering. Have random people apply to your fake job advertisement and use those CVs to create a master CV for yourself. Pro tip: make sure you're comfortable delivering a job performance that your CV's stated skills and experience imply. There's no faster road to losing all credibility than having people suggest you lied on your resume. Source: I've seen this happen more than I would reasonably expect.